So after yesterday in court, my sister tried to use the lies that she made up, all these years that I followed. The fact that, I was diagnosed with something like borderline, that means that they weren't really sure what it was. I just agreed because my sister forced it upon me that if I did not take medication for something that I didn't have, that I couldn't be around family. But I think what the real problem was is that she couldn't take my truth, and we just did not agree. And that's fine. And I still don't agree because all those years I lived a lie for her, for her story. And she tries to get the court to sway in her benefit, when they all three of them darn well know that they were never included in my uncle's will, and he despised them, called them grifters, after all the other estate matters, which are going to become aware to the court if we go to trial. And I hope it doesn't go that far. I hope that they give up while they're ahead, because even that attorney from DC tried to sway the court more by saying that he was guardian ad litem for 10 years. That's a lie. He just applied for it. So I also applied for it in DC while he was in DC. And so the other guy must have applied for it. Who approved that? That's what I would like to know. And so, that's funny how I have all this proof and they think that, they're going to sway the court to say that, I can't handle this, which I've been handling it and I've been taking care of everything. And everything is wonderful and great, and everything is going good here so far, for the most part. If I didn't have my sister going around with the investigator defamating my character all around, then I would be able to live, and start a new life. But it seems like my sister's gone and defamated my character to everyone, which has caused them to not like me, And so, even before anyone makes judgments, it's my sister that is causing those judgments. And she's tried to sway the courts in saying horrible things about me to the courts, like she does every time. She writes a statement, she says horrible things about me, and they actually aren't horrible things. She made them up to make me look bad. And the medications that she forced me to take, or I wasn't allowed around family, almost killed me. And so the bigger picture of it all is what I'm waking up to realize after, finding my own health and, my own beliefs and what I choose, was an awakening to placebo effect ideology, and then realizing that it was being used against me to take advantage of me, to take what I've been inherited and give me nothing. Because really that's what they gave me, nothing. Out of all the family estates, the money's gone, the properties are being dealt with by them, it's in their name. And I've known since 2014 that I was the only one on my uncle's will. And and I knew I was the only one being added to all his accounts back in 2014 with proof. So, they attacked me vindictively too, uh, and they weaponized the police and, the adult protective services here against me when I did nothing wrong. And I helped everyone. I've been doing good deeds. Anyhow, I gotta go make a coffee. It's too early for this. But anyways, I've been using my chat GBT, and I think I'm gonna try the Grok because someone said that it's even better. I don't know how, but I guess I'll try it too, and keep working on it. Because pro se litigant work is super important. If you don't know it, then and if they don't know it and they don't take the time to look, then your whole thing is in jeopardy if you don't work on it. So I work on it, every day. It's almost like a job because it takes up so much time. But, I've only been here taking care of Phil every day all the way up until, before Christmas. And they stopped letting everybody in because it was his last surgery before he passed. And trust me, there was a lot of fishy stuff going on that I noticed while, I was there caring for him. And it seems like maybe this is some backlash from that or something, because I was so upset that they lost his phone and, that I couldn't get communication with him, but he was still there and awake and, or, basically drugged. But his whole area here was leaking. They couldn't put his guts back together. Every time they put him back together, it would scar tissue, and then they had to go in and clear the scar tissue and then seal it back up again, to make sure it heals right, and it wouldn't heal right. So that's what happened. And the insurance red flagged it, and I had to appeal it, as power of attorney. I had to appeal all this stuff and go to Maximus and appeal the Aetna refusal, because at that point everybody knew that he was gonna die, and so we were trying to get him moved to a nicer place. It was so saddening, you know. And what's interesting? John DiNucci, I've been calling him ever since I found the will last year, and I wouldn't even have known who he was if Phil didn't tell me to go get the will, which was posted to the back of the condo door. And so I'd been calling him because Phil wanted him to come visit to fix the will because he knew that there was it was lacking 2 signatures. So Phil and we got the will's booklet that I still have, and we were looking through it, and it says something about, if that's, if it's not witnessed, but everything else is done with, the attorneys on there and the executor and whatnot, and it's the only known forensic will, with proof and text message that, I sent to Phil, the pictures of all the work I did here, and the condo was posted to the will was posted to the back of the condo door, and I took a picture of that too. And so John was supposed to go over and fix it, and he couldn't make it before Phil had become incapacitated, which really they marked sometime in January or something. I don't know, but anyhow, It was after the last surgery because I still spoke to him a few times on the phone even after that. But then he must have dropped his phone on the floor or something, you know? I don't know. And then it could have gotten kicked or just you just never know because they weren't allowing anyone in on that floor because it's a surgical floor and they were claiming people had COVID and stuff. So, you know, they're still following all those COVID rules and the outside couldn't come into the surgical floor. So the only floor that you could visit on was floor 5, and no one got to see him before he passed. So, you know, what a horrible ending to all that I've gone through. And, you know, and then also to be attacked by people that I don't communicate with anymore for the fact that they trapped me off for so many years and it was always about the money. And they know it. And they know that our relationship is never going to be repaired. That after everything that I've endured and all the lies that have been coming from them about me to defamate my character, to set me up, I took the blame for something I didn't do. And, you know, I was coerced and manipulated and lied to. And years later, I see it now. It was intentionally done to get rid of me. That's why, you know, there's 2 statements, and they made me write out statements while I'm all doped up on drugs, and they beat the crap out of me too. You know, so my sister made me out to look like a monster, you know, and intentionally did that to the public so they would think that I was a monster, but it's a lie, you know. And I have tons of friends and tons of people that will tell you other stories about me, you know, and get character witnesses and stuff because I'm a good person. The only person that ever said I was crazy is guess who? My sister, the one that was mostly speaking in the court because she thinks that she has volume and authority and people will listen to her. Well, they do, but I think they're going to hear how evil she sounded. She even sounded evil. Looked it, and my oldest sister, same thing. She looked like she had headphones on or something, and, you know, I don't know what they're up to. But, anyways, we all live different lifestyles. And where I used to be, you know, and how I used to be used and uh, mistreated, treated like the redheaded stepchild, you know, um, and not able to find myself because everybody was pushing me down, you know. They always said, "Oh, you're never going to be a singer. You can't sing, you know. You couldn't like you look ridiculous. Why are you wearing that?" You know. They were so mean to me. Like even in the original court cases, the letters that my sister wrote were like, "Oh, he likes to go out and dress up like Michael Jackson and go dancing." So, what's wrong with that? You know? But somehow that influenced the courts to maybe think I was homosexual or something. I don't know. Maybe they, I don't know what they thought about all that, but it's in there. And it's ridiculous. And I can't believe I took the blame for something I didn't do all these years. It's gotten to be so annoying that why would I ever want to see their faces again? You know? And they know what they're doing. That's what's even more evil, is that they could care less about me, and they never cared about me, but they made it seem like they cared about me, and they never cared about me ever. Trust me, it was always about the money, because after they got rid of me, all the money was gone. Gone. Like hundreds of thousands of dollars, you know, and all the properties. Um, like, they definitely don't want me to have Phil's portion because they already stole everything else and I reported it all. That's how the family fell apart. Because, everything was a lie. And when I got home, it was like, oh, don't tell anybody because, nobody remembers and nobody knows. And I'm like, of course people know. They remember. What do you mean? And so we're just gonna play pretend like nothing ever happened, and I like got screwed over for you to save you. And then you said it was because I needed help when I'm way better than where you put me at. And I will never go off your judgments ever again, because you held me down. You held me down. You told me I would never be good enough. You tried to make me look like I'm incompetent, and you defamated my character to the whole city. I wrote a 440 motion. I've been fighting for my life, because of the amount of damage that my sister has caused my life. It's horrible. It's horrible. And this is helping me heal my journalism about it, because it was gonna come out anyways eventually. um you know Growth spurts. I believe people go through growth spurts, as a child, from a child to adult. I do believe and understand that concept. And during that time where I was going through having to move from home and get out of my mom's hair and grow up and become an adult real fast, I definitely wasn't ready for it. And that's what caused a lot of my agreement to what everyone else thought, because I was reaching outside of myself trying to find life. And it directed me down pathways that I should have never went down. I should have figured this stuff out on my own. Instead, I went and signed paperwork saying, here, you figure it out. You make up a name for it. So whose story is it if it's all theology? You could change the world with changing the story. And it's always going to change because it's inevitable, you know? And like, things that are in the dark always come to light. Well, it's definitely coming to light and seeing the bigger picture and matching all the dates up to my story, where pretty much I took the blame and I was coerced with love, and my heart was used and broken, and my feelings were being triggered intentionally and instigated upon. And that's been like that my whole life. Mental games with the siblings. So, you just got to keep going. You just got to do the next thing. You can't stay stuck in the past, that's for sure, and you just got to keep moving forward, no matter what. Because if you're doing righteous stuff and you're doing the right thing all along, and everybody else comes in to try to kill you, I think God undoubtedly will save you. Because really, that's really what they tried to do. They literally tried to indoctrinate me and kill me and take away my talent and tell me I was no good and I'll never be good enough. And they're horrible. What horrible people. And to use me and not appreciate my work or my help. So, they're miserable. And they lied about everything. Everything. And I have tons and tons of proof to prove all of that. Anyhow, just tons of proof. I've been saving it all for years and years and years. All the malicious attacks that they made against me, and then went and told the police that I was the one being violent when really I got it all on video that they were really lying right on the phone to the police, while I'm there. And they hated that. And they even went to the court and said, oh, he's videoing and, we don't like that. Well, of course you don't like that because, now I have a video of the truth, so you can't lie anymore. Well, get ready, people, because there's cameras all over. So you better behave yourself, I don't have to worry about it because I was beaten to death almost to make sure I behave myself. And so, I grew up with the lieutenant colonel, the girls went to the babysitters because they abused me as a child. I got a real story. And they don't like when I talk about it, man, because it makes them look really shady. And they could never compare to what they've done to me, And my crimes shouldn't exist because it's all a lie. And there's tons of witnesses and proof all over. And I want my life back. I want my bike back. I want what I inherited too. Because they were never included. Like I said, my uncle despised them. It's because my aunt spent $20,000, I believe, 2 times. I even have letters from my grandmother here about it. And she maxed out her credit cards, and my grandmother had to pay off her house, and that's why the house went back into the estate, because my grandmother's estate, because my aunt was in debt to my grandmother. So she has life tenancy rights and she's supposed to keep up on all the bills. Well, part of all that money that was spent was to pay to help my aunt fix her furnace and her flooded basement and whatever else. So they, the money was being shelled out to them. And now they're all attacking for Phil. Oh my gosh. It's crazy. Anyhow, and they didn't give me anything. Nothing. And I did all the work at camp. Like, I built the docks. I brought 4 ton of rivers Adirondack stone for the, outside. I saved the tree. They cut it down. I can't believe how crazy it looks down there. I'm so glad I'm not there anymore. Enjoy it for whatever little bit of life you got left, because, you pretty much took 20 years of mine away for, lies and money. And I can't believe you don't see yourself in the mirror. I can't believe you don't see it, man. I don't know how you could live your life and sleep at night knowing, you don't ever think about me. You couldn't possibly give a crap about me. Ever. I don't know what kind of psycho, psychology you're into, but this is not Nazi America, the Holocaust, like drug everybody up and say they're incompetent and get rid of them so you can steal all the money, which is what you're doing. You're trying to. The world's gonna know my whole story from my side because I'm gonna sit here and make video after video after video of everything on my mind. Because everything that I've saved in paperwork proof just reminds me of everything that I've been saying for years and years and years to all the doubters, and I learned that those doubters were just bad people. Bad people. Anyways, you guys, I've spent so much time on this. It's ridiculous. It's taken away from what I love to do. And I want to get back to my music and playing guitar and singing and dancing and having a good time. Which is a lot of fun, but it's also what I love to do maybe more professionally, I could sing a lot of different stuff. I know I can, I'm like shy on the spot, but if I'm really into the song and the music with the band, I really get into entertaining and performing, and I really love to do that, and it's always been a dream of mine, and it's why I went to college for radio, television, broadcasting in 2007. So anyhow, I'm holding on and trying the best I can to make things right, keep things right, and stay away from the grifters. That's what Phil called them all these years. And I've been the only one to go on vacation, spend the summer here. None of them were allowed. None. Not after he realized that what they did the last time and that everybody was involved. That's wild to think that they all, like, ganged up on me together. And that's what they did yesterday. And they tried to say all these things and to sway the court in their favor, but the court can't do that. But it is, if we were in front of a jury or something, it might sway the jury, but they have to really look at all the facts, and all the documents that I've submitted are a lot of factual proof, and I have more to give them. So, I'm sure I'll be alright, you guys, because this all wouldn't have happened if my sister didn't go around and try to get me arrested and get rid of me, so that way she could get the state's attorney to attack my uncle's estate. What horrible people. They're horrible. They're all going straight to hell in a handbag or whatever they got. Anyways, I love you all, and I hope you're having a nice Saturday. God bless you all. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.